Hey, good morning, everybody. How are you? Hey, Rick, Joe, Julie, Roger, Roasted, JW, Angel, John. You guys all doing okay? Got your coffee in hand, ready for another great day. Hey, I've got IBKR up here. This is looking pretty good. I know a few people went long on this yesterday. Nice little, let's take a look at this. Let me get my, there we go. Let's draw a line right there. We popped up, nice little pullback to the T line. This right through there, that's the 50% retracement of this low and that high right in there. So I think that's an absolute perfect place, absolutely perfect place for the buyers to step in. And that appears to be what they're doing. I'm looking for a target up into this area right here. And, yesterday, I noticed on somebody in YouTube asked me a question, what about stops? Because I generally don't talk about stops here too much. And we'll talk about that throughout the day quite a bit. And I may turn the recorder on and we'll talk about that. I just don't think I have time to do that this morning, but I think we'll definitely have a conversation on stops today, okay? So IBKR just looks like a great chart to me. Earnings not till April, so I'll be taking a look at that, and I'll certainly post in the app. Oh, speaking of the app, I posted a list of 17 or something stocks I'm adding to the watch list. Some of those are already on the watch list, so if you have the app, you can get all those there. There's no way I'm going to be able to do 17 here this morning, okay? Hey, let's jump over to the SPY real quick, and we'll come back and look at more charts. Yesterday, it was a bummer. We didn't get to 500 up here, but that's okay. We have today, and we'll have tomorrow. So let's just see what happens there. Right now, everything by the numbers, the trend is still bullish. The candlesticks still are bullish. There's nothing bearish about these candlesticks. So right now, I believe the trend is going to continue higher until it doesn't. And if we start seeing a selling candlestick in here, we'll look at, say, a 60-minute chart or the 3-bar chart, looking for any kind of breakdown in the intraday, any kind of a breakdown of the trend, okay? So I do think we ought to be very, very careful up here. We're not going to go up forever, okay? It's just not going to happen. So be a little bit cautious up in this area. We'll quickly peek at the diamonds. They're bullish. The trend is up. Qs, bullish. The trend is up. I'll stop right here just for a second. What I look for is pretty simple. Where is price? Where is the T-line? Where is the Trendicator? They look like they're bullish to me. They're trending in the right direction. If we want to peek at IWM, we can. Make you kind of ill, but we can. Right now, the sellers still control IWM. The bulls need to break out over this dark blue line right here. I don't really know why that line is there. There we go. The bulls need to break out of this dark blue line to even think about a bullish move. A couple days ago, that bullish candle means absolutely zip until we move over this line right here. So T2123 for the most part is in the toilet. Okay, it's the trend is going against the T2123 indicator, what we tend to look at. I want to use the word follow very carefully because I would rather follow the trend. That's my number one, and you can see the SPY is still trending. But I certainly pay attention to this, and we have a battle going on between that T2123 and the trend. And right now the trend is winning. So when that happens, serious caution should be out there, okay? All right, let's take a peek at IYT. That is still extremely bullish, nothing bearish about it. I see here looking at the chart. Now I have this on real time, so it gives a different view of things, but we'll talk about that. The fact that we're looking at this chart, because somebody might be watching this, and you see this wick up here. Oh my, that's a shooting star. Should I be concerned? There is not a candlestick signal that you could put at the top that would indicate that the bears have just taken that kind of control. Now, what that might indicate is a little bit of a pullback till the buyers start stepping in. All right, we come down to where maybe the T-line, that seems to be a very good anchor for price, but that anchor does break, and when that breaks, we come down a little bit. I'm gonna make that red. We come down a little bit lower. We look at things where price has been before. When we break that, then we look at lows. We look at 50-period moving average, things like that. So this does not necessarily mean we're going, into the toilet with IYT. However, it could mean you might have a little bit of pullback, or the next bar is a little bit mushy, maybe. Okay. SMH is looking fantastic. In fact, if you take a look at SMH here, and if we take this high right there and this high, this was a tweezer top within 1 penny. Now, that candlestick traders consider that a super warning. All right, be careful with that. That means the bears are trying to put a plan together. Well, the bulls kind of messed with their plan, didn't they? They broke it right out, and then this morning we're holding above that area. So that is a very positive move that the bulls were able to break that out. So and it doesn't mean, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have 10 days of running, or it doesn't mean that we're going to go to 215 in 2 weeks or 3 weeks or anything like that. This is just looked at, the tweezer top is looked at as something major warning. The fact that we broke out is looked at as something very positive. Okay, so far we're rocking here. Bulls have total control of this market. All right, before we look at some charts, there's something I did here last night, and it's because I was working with somebody, and you guys all know how I feel about, numbers and CPI numbers and job numbers and all that stuff. You guys know how I feel about that, all right? There's a lot of chatter out there that credit card debt is growing. Oh, like that's never happened before, right? And we all lived, didn't we? And the market lived, didn't it? So I've been hearing all this chatter, and this individual that I was working with last night, they were very concerned about this. Now, I want to share this right now, right here. A short-term swing trader, none of that matters. Now, that is my opinion, all right? There is no numbers out there that matter if you are a short-term swing trader. Short-term swing trader, what is that? Well, let's see here. Yesterday, I closed up almost $1,000 on STLD because I was in it here, and it popped up to this high up here, and I took my $1,000 off the table. To me, that's a short-term swing trader. Now, a short-term swing trader can be a week. It can be 2 weeks. It can be 3 weeks. It doesn't mean you have to, short-term swing trader is not 2 days. It's not 3 days. It can be a week. It can be 2 weeks. It can be 3 weeks. But a short-term swing trader, the least of your concern is what in the world are these stupid numbers for? They do not matter to you. Now, he mentioned something to me today. He said, looking at other last night, he said, looking at other indicators, it said the market is going up, but yet there's no charts. That cocktail party thing. I talked about that yesterday. Cocktail party thing. Well, there's only 7 stocks moving us up. Really? Is that really, really, really true? Well, let's just take a quick moment and check it out. Here's the S&P 500. And what I did is I wrote a scan. Now, you guys all know that part of my bullish trend is the T-line over the 17 or the Trendicator, right? So that's what I did. Anytime you put a faster moving average on top of a slower moving average, you can't help not to have a trend. And just the opposite, a trend up. Or, well, let's say attitude up, okay? And if you put the T-line or the 8 exponential below the 17 or a faster moving average below a slower moving average, you can't help to have a bearish attitude. It's just that simple. So let's see, 7 stocks, right? Well, let's just check that out. You see these, this is the S&P 500. See all these check marks? If we go down right here to Coke, I would say offhand that there is 282 out of 503 stocks helping this market go up. So this idea that it's just 7 stocks, don't get caught up in these talking points that is just headlines. That's all it is, because it's not true. It's more than 7 stocks taking us up, and there's over 50% of the S&P 500 remains bullish. And if we were to pull that up and go down and check where those check marks are. So what I did here is, who's moving up. Look at RL. Looks pretty bullish to me. Look at MAS. Well, where here, basic materials. Where in the world is that part of the magnificent 7? So like I said, don't get caught up. I'm gonna delete that now. Don't get caught up in the nonsense of all these numbers, why the market should do something. And it's all about trend. Here's something to think about. Let me pull up Allstate. All right. Here's something to think about. Your trading, my trading, I should say mine, not yours. My trading is about negotiating a good price, the best price I can negotiate at that time for an entry in a bullish trend. And from there, what we want, what we would like, is for the price to move up in a swing that we manage. Now, some people might get out after overnight. Some people might get out over 20 days, somewhere in the middle maybe. And that's, a lot of that depends on your character in trading, your attitude on trading, how you feel about the market. It also has to do with, what are the candlesticks doing? Did we hit a target? Are we hitting resistance? There's 101 answers that you can answer in a split second when looking at a chart on should I take profits, okay? So it's that simple. Trend, and you negotiate that entry for a profit. And there's not a number in the world out there that's going to make a difference to that trading. And that's swing trading, okay? So, all right, let's take a look at Allstate. So Allstate here, beautiful trend. For those that are, I'm going to put this right here, by the way, right there. For those familiar with a J-hook continuation pattern, we call it a J-hook. There's a lot of people that call it something else. If you want to get down to the crux of it, it's nothing more than a continuation pattern in a trend. So here's your trend. We rally up to a high. We pull back to wherever. There's no magic. I tend to look for charts that pull back to the green dots or above. Okay, that's kind of my limit right there. So then I'm looking for the overall for the chart to move up, and this candle right here, that confirmed a J-hook breakout. Remember, this is a continuation pattern. So Here we're up, here we rest, here we're continuing. Now it looks like this morning we're getting confirmation, or we're getting an agreement. We're not getting an argument. We're getting an agreement. So what this tells me is that there is a high probability that Allstate moves up a little higher. Now, for us swing traders, that's where we make our money. So right through here is where you might negotiate an entry, even down toward the T-line. And that entry could come today, and it could come 3 days from now. It doesn't have to come right away, all right? Excuse me. The next stock I want to look at is Ford. Take a look at Ford. I think Ford is doing a pretty good job here, actually. We gapped up yesterday, and then you can see today we're holding. So what I'm going to do is I'll let the market kind of open up, and then I'm going to, where it opens up in and let it settle in today. And then that's where I'm going to be putting this line. I'm not sure where I'm going to put it yet today or this morning, not until I see the second candle. I think if we look at the weekly chart, you can see how that weekly chart is starting to move up. Some great targets for the weekly chart are going to be this 1540 area. Then we get up into the 1635. And then from there, it really opens up. Very nice. So Ford might be one we want to keep on that watch list for quite some time. Doesn't mean that it's to be traded that full time. It's to be traded when it meets your criteria. All righty. Hey, Kevin here's asking a question. I don't understand why your chart on Allstate has a candle with huge wick because 3 different patterns. Wait a minute. With a huge wick because when I look at 3 different patterns, none of them has a wick. That's because I have it on real time, pre-market time. So if I take this off, say never, see what it looks like? No, it looks different, okay? So when I do the morning, I look at I move it up so it always shows what's going on. During the day, I don't want that. I want this clicked so it shows the candle as is. Anyway, that's why it does that, Kevin. Pretty sure. So Ford, let's take a look at VLO. This is still a great looking chart. And again, here's that, that continuation pattern. Here we're up, we come down, we start moving up. Now, this has not confirmed that breakout. We're going to need to get through, pretty poorly done. We're going to need to get through those tops there to confirm that. That doesn't mean that this is not a buy here. We buy in this area a lot, and I would rather buy here. That's my number one area to buy. Say below the recent high, but yet above the T line. So this is my prime area to buy. That would be my second prime area to buy above that, and that area is an area like this up here. Okay, so VLO, see the trend, trade the trend, and negotiate your entry. Trade the trend and negotiate your entry. RBLX, here's another one that's gapped up and is holding. That's important, holding. So I'll probably adjust this line here as the day goes forward when we see what today's candle actually does. But the fact that we're holding, that's what I'm looking for. And this actually might be a good one to do this on. So take the high, take the high right there. And you see that bunched up lines, that's the 50% retracement. So I want that. I don't want to buy that down here. Not today, okay? I want to buy it above that 50%. Now, if price does fall down for some reason today, tomorrow, the next day, whatever, if it wants to come back, that's okay. That's where the T-line and the Trendicator will come in. So I want it to come back closer to them, and then I will negotiate that entry, providing the trend is still there. All right. Okay. Kevin's asking, is that a flag? That's a J-hook continuation setting up. The flag is right here. It's actually a flag breakout. There's the flag, and this right there was a flag breakout. This move up, right there's the flag. Okay, there's the breakout. This is also set up with a Fig Newton chart pattern. Those of hit run candlesticks right way option people, you guys, BYOB, you guys all know what that is. So, all right, I need to get going here. I'm way over my time. We'll see everybody at the bottom of the hour when the market opens up, okay? Trade smart today. Watch that 500 mark on the SPY or 5,000 on the S&P 500, all right? See you guys in about 25 minutes.